I ended up telling people the story, but I've always edited that part out because that was just too some shit. You know, a man sucked my dick. All right, a man sucked my dick. And that's how I found out.
What's up with cause Future was here last weekend and he was talking.
Future, another one of my young homies that I reached out to that got right back at the kid.
He actually respects you a lot, but he said he went to Kanye's studio and it was like some, I don't know, some Illuminati shit going on over there, like skulls. I heard that like a mic in the middle of the room.
I mean,
Are you a demon? No, but I have demonic energy.
About that, what do you think about the Illuminati? You think
you know what's crazy? Me traveling the world, I meet so many different people, like from Vatican, from I met like ill painters that meet other like billionaires, zillionaires, and they always tell me like, nobody's ever gonna know about the Illuminati if there is one, but it is out there. There's a force of people that just like control everything. And money doesn't mean a damn thing. Like there's no price to what they do. There's no value. It's just like I met this guy in Utah. I don't want to snitch him out. Indian guy from India, but he calls Obama whenever he wants like the stocks to go up in each country. So if Obama's like, yo, we're doing deals with Russia, or we're doing deals with Poland, and Obama wants like the stocks to go up, he'll make one phone call and then the stocks will just go up. And that's his job. I gave this guy a handshake, and then he's looking at my hands like, because we were doing press, like for Wire Image or some shit in Toronto. So I gave him like a handshake, but I the hip hop shit, you point like the gun point. So he's like, oh shit, that's the new sign. But I didn't peep that he was telling me that at that moment. I just wanted to take a photo. I always thought about like, Jay-Z doing these signs. Everybody's doing like signs trying to connect with other people. But meeting him, like just him randomly telling me, oh, that's the new sign. Then he did it. He did the gun sign. So he assumed that that's the new way of communicating to whoever is in the hierarchy. Because he's assuming because I fuck with 50, I'm already in the hierarchy that I understand the whole symbolism of whatever they do.
Charles had something to do with it?
No, but the thing is, Mrs. Hopkins had a vial of the coronavirus in the back of her car.
That bastard. What in the world was he thinking?
What are you referring?
All right, peace, y'all. Peace. I'm going to talk about the two doors that exist in hip hop. Okay. Well, Jay, what are the two doors? Okay. The two doors are the quickest way to misery, and most definitely the surest way to hell. Okay. Some may disagree with me, some may agree with me, but I'm just here to inform you. Okay. So door number one. All right. Door number one. Sacrifices. Okay. You have to understand this is very spiritual to them. Okay. In order for an artist or an actor to elevate to the next level, okay, of stardom, sacrifices have to be made. Immoral sacrifices. Things that will torment the average human being. Okay? Some may use animal sacrifices. Some may use human sacrifices. Okay? But to know that in the back of your mind, you committed a murder, okay? And when you done this, you were rewarded, okay? So to them, in their eyes, this is a curse, all right? But you're feeding that demon that's elevating you to the next level, okay? We're going to take Eminem, for example, all right? Eminem...
Take him on.
I started realizing that I could put words together, that I was actually semi-good at it. And then maybe when I hit about 17, I started realizing that, like, a lot of the that I was writing was better than half of the rappers that were out, like, lyrically, like. So then I hooked up with these guys, the Bass Brothers, back in, I was about 17. And they had heard me rapping over the radio. There used to be this radio station I used to go to every Friday night called, it was like an open mic thing where you'd go up there and you play your demos.
Parents' home.
I reached a point when my daughter was born where I didn't give a anymore. I didn't care. I just was like, I was fed up with so much shit. I knew I had a baby on the way that before she was born, and once she was born, I couldn't afford to buy her diapers. I couldn't afford to do anything. I had lost my job. I was working different jobs, temporary service, all kinds of jobs just to try to make ends meet. Didn't have anything, got evicted from the house I was staying at and really reached a point where I just hit rock bottom, so I stopped giving a fuck.
Sinking into depression, Marshall took an overdose of sleeping pills in December 1996.
We recorded the Slim Shady EP, and as soon as we recorded that, I was doing shows, getting little gigs around Detroit, in the Detroit area, little club gigs and things like that, and everything just started picking up, like.
See, now right here, you see how he said all of a sudden, things just started picking up. Okay, this was at that point where Eminem decided to go full gusto. You know what I'm saying? He needed that money. He was broke. You know what I mean? He was hungry. He needed that money. You see what I'm saying? He was so desperate that he needed to do what he had to do. He's got a baby on the way. I gotta do this. So what do I need to do? He gets in contact with the Bass Brothers. How do I get my tape? I want to be famous. What do I gotta do? I'll do anything. And the rest was history, man. And Eminem knows what he did. He knows what he did, These things partake even in movies. Y'all remember that part in Hustle and Flow? Where he was like, the white boy was like, do y'all believe in omens? And then all of a sudden, DJ's tape just started being hot. His music was hot. He was in the streets. Everything just started.
The tape started selling. There was a buzz. I would walk in the clubs. People would automatically know who I was. I started making like a pretty...
All right, so you just saw that clip there. Now, we know that an individual, if an individual is in a low point in life and they're ambitious, they'll pretty much do anything to get out of that situation, okay? So I truly believe that this has taken place way before a lot of people think, all right? Nobody just randomly pops up out of nowhere without partaking in any type of demonic activity, okay? So I believe that, it progressed into what it is today, and he took that turning point when he all of a sudden said that his tape started picking up, okay? He mentions this in the song, My Darling. He says, you sold your soul to me, need I remind you? You remember that night you prayed to God? You give anything to get a record deal? Well, Dre signed you? This is what you wanted your whole life, Marshall, right? Look at this house. Look at these cars. I'm so nice. So this is in a song called My Darling by Eminem. He mentions that he did a deal with Satan. Okay? And he views Satan as God. All right? This is what they do, man. And like I said, these demons, they take any type of sacrifice, whether it be human or animal. Okay? It may be too soon for this, but I believe DMX sacrificed his dog, Boomer, whom he has on his back, tattooed on his back. Also MF Doom, you know, his brother Sub Rock, Nas, Ill Will, okay, so many, man, so many. You know, it's the list goes on, okay. So if you usually see these artists befriend somebody and get close to them, and then all of a sudden that person dies, there's usually a ritual behind that. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about door number 2 here. Okay. So door number 2 is gonna be quick and short to the point, but I want you guys to understand that this is deeper than the average mind thinks, okay? So, door number 2 basically is basically the homosexuality activities that go on in the industry behind closed doors, okay? This is to ensure secrecy, all right? Now, here's my key point that I want to make. And the issue I have with this is why is it projected only in the hip hop community? Simply because, you know, it targets a specific demographic. All right. You don't see this in pop. You don't see this in jazz or gospel or any other genre for that matter. You don't see this in alternative rock or any country music. You don't really see this, but the homosexuality is pushed to a certain demographic, and I'm going to explain why this is important to them. 2 reasons, okay? For one, they partake in these rituals behind closed doors because they follow Aleister Crowley's sex magic, okay? That's number 1. In this book, I won't quote it on YouTube because it's kind of explicit, but Aleister Crowley says that doing certain things with the same sex is invoking certain demons, okay? So you have to be careful with the things that you do. You know, even people are now promoting sodomy, okay? Like putting your mouth to someone's excuse my French, but these are things that partake in certain practices that follow that sodomy thing, okay? So this is why these things are promoted to certain demographics. Also, all right, some people may call it the gay agenda, all right? They may assume that these artists are wearing dresses and purses and all of this stuff because there is an agenda behind it. Well, yes, that's somewhat true also, but it's a bigger picture than that, okay? And I'm going to break it down. In the next 200 years, okay, things will be completely different, all right? The world will be a different place, okay? You know, and this is the thing here. This is the thing here. and I'm not trying to speak on race, but this is a prime factor of why it's heavily pushed in the hip hop community, okay? And like I said, why it's targeting certain demographics, because they know that they have a plan for humanity, okay? It doesn't have to do with black or white. They have a plan for humanity. They know that hip hop is heavily influential, okay? They know it's influential to the youth, all right? So this is why, and here I'm going to get to this point. This is why these artists like Lil Nas X and all of these Lil Uzis and all of these guys that are feminine are being uplifted and pushed to the top more, right? It's because they want the younger generation to be more feminine, okay? Until a point where it's completely acceptable, all right? Until these things are completely acceptable. Now, remember I mentioned that Aleister Crowley mentioned in his book Sex Magic that there are certain demons that you invoke with having same-sex intercourse. Okay, without you even knowing this, there's a spirit that feeds off of that energy. Okay, so this is why they want to push that agenda, okay, to the world. All right. Over there in K-pop, they're not pushing that. They're not pushing that. Homosexuality stuff over there. Even in Afro beats and West African music, South African music, they're not pushing that. Okay, they're not pushing that to the masses over there. They're not pushing homosexuality in country music. Okay, those people are not a threat to them. All right, you're not pushing homosexuality in what else? What's the other genre? Gospel or whatever. They're mainly concerned with the hip hop community. The hip hop community is the loudest community. Okay, it's the loudest community that speaks of volume. So now, these individuals are aware of this. All right, and they're using these entertainers as puppets to get their point across. All right, so now, the more that they promote this, okay, homosexuality in hip hop, the youth beneath us, I should say, will be when they become older, they'll be accepting of this, okay, and we will have an old school way of thinking, okay, and then now, when the younger generation has kids, right, it'll be even more accepted, all right. It'll be even more accepted now, all right? Like I said, in the next 200 years, things will be totally different because no matter how much we fight, okay, there is a bigger picture. This is a spiritual warfare we're dealing with here, okay? And by all means, they're going to make this happen. And if you or I try to get in the way of it, they will prevent you from living, okay? It's deeper than what you guys think, man. They know that people have influence, okay? And they know this. So it's the easiest way to mislead the youth. I'm not accepting of this. All right, so I hope I covered everything in this video. And spoke on it more in depth, okay? But my job is to try to give you as much knowledge as possible to help you avoid going down this path. All right, so I hope everybody is staying safe, and you know what I'm saying. God bless. Peace.